Hi guys, welcome back to another tutorial from DaisyElleHookery. If you're here today, it's because you're doing the Cozy Cool Beans pattern. That's just a little mini for my granddaughter. And no, we haven't got a pattern for mini ones yet, but I'm hoping to later on in the year. So today we're going to look at how to do the linked double crochet stitch and then the bean stitch, how to work them together, because the bean stitch is usually worked in rows from left to right. That's why you get the beans going from right to left as you work them. When you turn your work, they go from left to right. You turn your work again, they go back right to left. But because we're going in the round, so we're working in one direction all the time, you'd expect the bean stitch to only lean from right to left. But what we're going to do for these is when we get to the end of our row, we're going to be working from the inside. So we do turn our work and we go back around from the inside until we get back to our start point. Then we turn again and we start all over again. So just because we're working in the round doesn't mean to say that we can't turn our work and work from the inside, does it? There's no law against it. Now I've got all the 3 different types of ribs there, and I've covered those in a different video. So today we're looking at the linked double crochet first. Let's see the nice little lines that go in the centre of your double crochet there. And you'll see that it's quite a nice tight dense effect. You don't get the holes that you do in a regular double crochet. So if I demonstrate here, this was a little bit of a sample. When I pull out this, you can see the holes between my double crochets, but when I pull out this, there's not really any holes. And that's why I like the linked double crochet, especially for wearables. This is okay on boot cuffs, gloves, hats, but we're planning something rather special, similar to a skirt but not quite. And the last thing you want is big gaping holes over your backside. So for this collection, that's one of the reasons we're using the linked double crochet, so that it doesn't do that and we can preserve our modesty. So here's my little bit of a sample. Now I've done a few rows already of linked double crochet, and I'm at the end of my round. I'm going to show you how to do the double linked slip stitch. I've had a few conversations with a few designers that have used the linked double crochet, and one of the biggest things that they don't like about using this stitching around is the side seam. Anyone who's done like Edie's Market Bag or any of my other patterns where we've used linked double crochet knows that if you don't link it properly, or if you don't go back and stitch over that open seam, it can cause you to have the big holes. So we're going to try and avoid that on this pattern. So I'm at the end here of my round, and I'm going to show you how to do the double linked slip stitch. Let me move everything out of the way so that you've got a clear view. So here's my last stitch. I'm going to be putting my hook underneath the horizontal strand as though I'm making a regular linked double crochet, and then I'm going to look for the first stitch in the round, and I'm going to go up through that horizontal strand on the first stitch. I'm going to grab my yarn and pull it through both, and now I have 2 loops on my hook. Then I'm going back into the top of the stitch under the 2 strands there that make the V. I'm going to grab my yarn and I'm going to pull it through and pull it through all 3, and that gives me a continuation of the lines. When you first make the stitch, as you're actually on that row, looks a bit funky, but as you work more rows on top, actually looks okay. And then obviously once it's had a wash and the stitches have settled in, it gets better, so it improves with age. So this is the starting linked double crochet. So from this slip stitch, the starting linked double crochet is how you will start every row or every round of the Cozy Cool Beans patterns on the linked double crochet rows. You chain 2. You look for that first chain and you insert your hook. You do not yarn over. You insert your hook into that first chain, you pull through a loop, and you go into the base of the same stitch that you slipped into, that very first stitch, and you pull the yarn through. You now have 3 loops on your hook, and you complete the stitch as you would a regular double crochet. So yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and you have a fat stitch. In this instance, fat is good. So that first stitch should always be a fat one. You place your hook underneath, look for that horizontal strand. Let me just take my hook out, look for this strand here. It doesn't sit very horizontal in the beginning, but you find that one, hook underneath, grab your yarn, pull it through into the next stitch, under your 2 V's, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook, pull through 2, pull through 2, the same as a regular double crochet. And you can see that first stitch now is sitting horizontal, that little strand. So you go under that strand again, pull up a loop into the next stitch, pull up a loop, and complete as you would a regular double crochet. You've now got 2 horizontal strands. That one will become horizontal when you pull it down, and you work along your row. So you link and you go into the next stitch and you complete as a regular double crochet. Link into your next stitch, pull through 2, pull through 2, link into the next stitch, through 2, through 2, link, pull through 2, pull through 2. So hopefully you've got that. If you work around to the end, I'll meet you back to do another double linked slip stitch, and I'll show you that one again. So I'm at the end of my round. Now all I have to do is my double linked slip stitch, so that's my final stitch there. So I place my hook underneath the horizontal strand and I go straight up on the first stitch of my round, so that I'm under the 2 horizontal strands now. I grab my yarn and I pull through both. Just make sure that's snug without being too tight on your hook, just snug. And then I look at the top and I find my top V, and I go in through the top V to make my regular slip stitch and pull through, and that's pulling through all of them. So I've got my horizontal strand there and I'm at the top, and like I say, it looks a little bit funky, but it did the first time we did it, and that's sat straight now. And then I would chain 2 and link into my first chain, put my hook into the base of the same stitch, 3 loops on the hook, pull through 2 and pull through 2, and I have my fat starter stitch again. So that's the double linked slip stitch and the starting linked double crochet. But for this round we're going to make our first lot of bean stitches. So we're going to chain 2. We're not going to go into the base of this same stitch, we're going to be working into the next stitch now. So we put our hook in as though we're making a single crochet, pull up a loop and pull it through, leave your 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, in again, yarn over, pull through. You now have 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, in, yarn over, pull through. It's a little bit difficult to see, but you now have 6 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 6, make 1 chain stitch on the top to complete your stitch. Skip 1 into the next stitch, so you always skip a stitch in between the beans. You bean, skip, skip, bean, skip, all the way around. So we're skipping this one, we're working into this one. So hook in, pull a loop through as though you're making a single crochet, leave it, yarn over, in, yarn over, pull out a loop. You have 4 loops. Yarn over, in, grab your yarn, pull that through. You now have 6 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. This probably wasn't the best wool to use, the best yarn to use for this. So you've got 6 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 6, and a chain stitch on the top to complete the stitch. We'll do another one. So skip that stitch, skip the next one into the second one, in and pull a loop through as though you're doing a single crochet and leave it, yarn over and in, pull a loop through, 4 loops, yarn over and in, pull a loop through and 6 loops, yarn over, pull through all 6. Sometimes it gets a little bit tight in there, chain stitch to complete your stitch. So I'll work and you can watch. So skip 1 into the second one, pull up a loop, 2 loops, yarn over, in, pull up a loop, 4 loops, yarn over, in, pull up a loop, 6 loops, pull your yarn through all 6, 1 chain stitch to complete it. Skip 1 into the second one, in, pull up a loop, 2 loops, yarn over and in, yarn over and pull through, 4 loops, yarn over and in, yarn over, 6 loops, chain stitch on the top. And here was our first chain 2, so we're at the end of the row. What we're going to do is we're going to actually slip. If you can see the bean stitch here, you've got these triangular gaps to the side of your stitch. So let me pull a loop up there. You have your chain V on the top. You have a triangular gap at the side of your bean stitch, so we're going to slip into that triangular gap, make 1 slip stitch, chain 2 and turn your work. So now you're working from the inside, so look for that triangular gap that's sitting just to the left of your bean stitch, because that's where you're going to be working now. So hook in, pull a loop through as though for a single crochet, leave it, yarn over, in and pull up a loop, yarn over, in and pull up a loop, 6 loops, pull through all 6 and a chain on the top to seal it. In, 2 loops, yarn over, in, 4 loops, yarn over, in, 6 loops, pull through all 6, chain on the top. And you'll see, if you look at it from this side, you've got the first row of beans all leaning from right to left, the second row of beans leaning from left to right. Obviously if you're a lefty, they'll be going the opposite way. So into that big gap at the side, pull a loop through, yarn over, in and pull a loop through, 4 loops, yarn over, in, 6 loops. In and pull a loop through, yarn over, in, pull a loop through, 4 loops, yarn over and 6 loops, chain on top to finish it, pull a loop through, yarn over, pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through a loop, 6 loops, chain stitch on the top, and we're back at the beginning. So again, find that first space on the top, your triangular V, and slip into that, turn your work again. And then for the third round you're going to chain 2 and you're going to work into the big triangle gaps again. Now let's suppose we've done that and we're going to do our linked double crochet round again on top of your bean stitch. So I'm going to do my starting linked double crochet, so I'm linking, I'm in that space, there's my fat first stitch, I'm going to link, And this time I'm going to go into the chain on top of my bean stitch. I'm going to link it, and then I'm going to go into the side gap. Then I'm going to link that, and I'm going back into the chain on top of the next stitch. The chain one that we made to complete our stitch. Oh, this one's a bit tight. So there's my linked double crochet on that. Then I'm going to link it again, and then I'm going to work into my side gap. So that's how you work your linked double crochet on top of your bean stitch. It's quite simple. Just link, look for your V, look on your chain stitch, of the chain stitch I should say. And then link the next one and into the side gap. And that's how you put your linked double crochet on top of your bean stitches. And so I hope that's made sense. Hope that's helped any. If you've any questions, then obviously I'll leave my contact in the bottom down here somewhere. It'll be down there. Feel free to contact me on Facebook or send me an email, or if you're in the area, bring coffee and chocolates and come knock on the door, and I'll talk to you next time. Good luck with your patterns. Bye.